everybody. We're trying to start on time for these, so it is, I see applause there for starting on time. Very good. So it's 7:15 and we're going to go ahead and start. My name is Debbie with the Wellness Committee, and there are many others from the Wellness Committee who are here. So who all was here 2 weeks ago when Sonia spoke with us? Just raise your hand. Okay, so we got some repeaters. That's good, because she focused a little bit on diabetes that time. That is not going to be covered this time. It's mainly about healthy carbs, how to identify them, and then she's going to run through our menus at the restaurants and see if we can pick out what would be good to choose and what would not be good to choose. But I'd like to introduce again Sonia Coyle, who is an educator, a health educator, has her master's in science education, and is a registered dietitian from Buenos Aires, and was a tennis champion back in the day. She comes to us from A&M Agri-Life Division. So she's an Aggie here, and she's got some goodies, but as a result of being associated as the Travis County educator, she has to show that she was here, and she has to have surveys that grade her on how she did. So they're in your packets, and if you take them out and fill out your surveys, you will get one of two valuable gifts when you leave. One valuable gift is a vegetable scrubber peeler, or you can get this placemat that Hank and I got last time, and we have it on our backsplash in our kitchen to remind us what our plate's supposed to look like when we put it together. So turn in your surveys and you'll get one of the two of these. So let's give Sonia a warm, let's welcome her back.
Thank you so much for inviting me again. Everybody can hear me in the back? No? Okay. Let's see. How about now? Better? Yes, excellent. Okay. So thank you, Debbie, again for inviting me, and for the Wellness Committee to inviting me again to come to present to you the part 2 of the Healthy Carbohydrate Program. And this is we're going to talk about balancing healthy carbohydrates to prevent chronic diseases. And this is a very good way to prevent diabetes, and also is very helpful for those that are living with diabetes. But before diving into the presentation, I would like to mention that today I came with 2 volunteers. One in the back, or at the front, is Margaret Cathy. She is a Master Wellness volunteer, so she went through a training with me like 8 years ago. And she's a board member for Texas A&M Life Extension for 15 years or so. And she's an amazing speaker. So she does a lot of Toastmasters program, and she also is a leader. She works with the 4-H, with the youth, to develop their public speaking skills. So she wanted to come to see you and listen and be part of this group. And today is Ashley also Montes helping me, and because you're going to see that there is going to be some activities, not many, but some. Okay, so thanks to last time that you wrote the survey. So that feedback was very important to me, because I put my staff into work, and we developed some of you have said, hey Sonia, I would like some more visuals. So then we developed, if you open up your folder today, so we developed this one-pager with the most important or the most common foods that we can see and compare with the concept of the healthy carbohydrates and the carbohydrate choices. So this is a result from your feedback. So please do, at the very end of the workshop today, do write down your surveys, because it's very, very helpful for me. Okay, so today, as we're going to talk, we're going to work, or I would like for you to use the booklets or the handouts. Why? Because the letters are, and the wordings are very big, very simple to read. So that you're going to see that the slides are going to be, it's a picture of this. So I'm going to show you page 1, page 2, so I'm going to guide you where we are. Okay. So first, we're going to review lessons learned. We're going to have an overview of carbohydrates, learn about how to balance carbohydrates, the starchy with the non-starchy carbohydrates. Those are going to be the veggies. Then we're going to talk about finding the sides, fruits and dairy. And we're going to see the menus. 20 minutes. I promised Debbie that 20 minutes we're going to talk about the menus that you guys have now, because I know that your menus change every 2 weeks or so. So bear with me. Because actually what I want is to show you, to teach you how to fish rather than give you the fish, right? And then call for action if we have time. So first, I am wondering, does anybody have any survey? So I would like to see if anybody would like to share anything that has done throughout these 2 weeks that have worked. Okay? Yes, sir?
I followed the 12 carbohydrates per day for 2 weeks and lost 4 pounds.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tom.
And to
So
hear you.
Tom used the 12 carbohydrate choices plan per day, and he lost 4 pounds in 2 weeks. This is amazing. Thank you, Tom, for your testimonial. Somebody else would like to share any changes? Any experience with the carbohydrate concept, carbohydrate choices concept? Any experience? Or even reading labels? Okay, that's okay. If you're shy, don't worry. Well, we'll talk. All right, so then, as a review, we were talking about that the carbohydrate choices is equal, one carbohydrate choice is 15 grams of carbohydrates. And that would help us to understand how many carbohydrates we have to eat in a meal, because the problem here in America is that we are eating too many carbohydrates. So this is where we are starting to be aware and to see the sizes of our plates, and to see the amount, to start checking into the amount of carbohydrates. And then that we were recommending that for a day we should get 12 to 14 carbohydrate choices, 12 for losing weight, like Tom did, 14 carbohydrate choices for those that want to maintain their weight, and 16 if there is somebody that is very physically active. That we were recommending that we should get 3 to 4 carbohydrate choices at breakfast, 3 to 4 at lunch, and again 3 to 4 at dinner. And why was that? Because carbohydrate was providing us with energy, and our brain and our muscles needed that energy. And then a carbohydrate choice we may take for snacks, and that the key is to be consistent. Like Tom did for 2 weeks. He did the program for 2 weeks. That's a key for every program to be successful, to be consistent. And that it takes practice, counting and thinking about the choices. It takes practice. Okay. So also we were talking about the sizes of our plates. So do you remember that I provided you with a yarn, a red yarn that was in diameter 9 inches? Has everybody done any of those measuring? Yes, very good. And how did you find out? What did you find out?
Our dinner plates are 10.
Your dinner plates are
10.
10. Okay, that means
Not
that.
bad.
There you go. No, almost there. There you go. But very important to see how big our plates are. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. Okay, so 9 inches is something that we recommend, and this is a 9-inch. Now we can pass that around. Okay, so we talked about the very important functions of the carbohydrates, because it is important when we eat that we remember, oh, carbohydrates, I need them for my energy, for my heart. And that we have the different types of carbohydrates and the sugars, the starches, and the fiber. And that the fiber, we don't digest them. They go through our system, they help us for bowel movement, very important, and our bacteria, the gut bacteria, they are going to eat it. But definitely the fibers will not provide with calories. And that will not break down into glucose. Mm-hmm.
The microphone, you can't hear you.
Ah, okay. Alrighty. Good. Thank you, sir. Now it's better?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. And then and that the fiber is very important because it helps us to feel full. So these are also examples of what is a 1 carbohydrate choice, which is a 1/3 cup of pasta. And now Ashley can pass around the measuring cups. So this is one of the things that if you have at home, I will encourage you to start measuring things, food items with the cups. A slice of bread, a cup of ready-to-eat cereal, depending on, this is where I also recommend for you to start looking into the food labels, because some, they have added sugars and some not. So this is depending on the cereal that you're eating or that you're choosing. A 6-inch tortilla, that's going to be 1 carbohydrate choice. A kiwi is going to be 1 choice, 17 grams. 3/4 of a cup of berries, half a cup of mangoes, a small potato, or half a cup of potatoes, then a small apple, 1/3 of a cup of cooked beans, or half a cup of lentils, and half a cup of cooked cereal. That would be the oatmeal. So those are all examples of 1 carbohydrate choice, and a small banana. Okay. So now we are going to look into this. The carbohydrates, this handout. Session 2. Let's work with handout session 2. Now, this is where I would like for you to focus on reading, to understand a little bit about the reading the labels. I know that you don't often go to the grocery store, but those who do, in blue, that is going to be giving you the information about the total amount of carbohydrates. So it says, in this item, it says that total carbohydrates is 41 grams. And that means that if that item has 41 grams in 1 serving, and the serving is going to be, that's a pizza, 1/4 of a pizza. So how many carbohydrate choices do I have? Over 2. And this is where I was making this. So this is from a 12-inch pizza in diameter. Just only 1/4 of a pizza, this amount will already gather over 2 carbohydrate choices. Okay. So then you can see again, the information in the nutrition label is that the total carbohydrate is 41, and that entails the fiber, it includes the sugars and the added sugars. All together will provide 41 grams. Okay. Any questions?
me, is that page in the handout? Because I don't have it.
It's page 1,
This is a handout for today, correct? Not for
session 2.
It's in the thing called session 2.
It's in session 2.
Sorry, okay, I don't have that today. Oh.
Can y'all please wait on the questions until we're finished? We're trying to get material covered. Is that going to be okay if you just write them down somewhere? And let's do that when we're at a stopping point.
Thank you. Sorry.
I have a session.
Okay.
Yes. Who said that? Who said that?
So now we're going to look into the non-starchy carbohydrates. And the non-starchy carbohydrates, this is where we want to have half of a plate. We want to cover half of a plate with non-starchy carbohydrates. And we broke it down into the green, the yellow, the blue, the white, the red. And you can see that the green are asparagus, beans, the green beans, the broccolis, the Brussels sprouts, the cabbages, the celery, chayote, the coleslaw, the cucumber, greens, the leeks, the okra, the spinach, the sugar snap, peas, Swiss chard, zucchini. And you may think, well, some of them I don't know how they look like. So I made a couple of pictures. So see the bok choy, or the ginger root, or the okra, or even the hearts of palm. So this is how those white ones are the hearts of palm. Those are non-starchy. Same like this one. The snow peas, the rutabagas, the turnip, the spaghetti, the organic spaghetti squash. Those are non-starchy, and we are recommending when they are raw to have them a cup. So for instance, the greens, a cup of greens, that would be wonderful to fill up our plate with a cup of greens. Or just half of the plate. And then at the very beginning, non-starchy veggies, it says, provides a variety of vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber, and they are lower in calories and have about 25 calories per serving. And a non-starchy vegetable serving is half a cup of cooked or 1 cup of the vegetables listed below. So half a cup of green beans, that will be 1 serving. But remember, just visualizing, always half of the plate with non-starchy. So this is where what I would like is for you to take a look in your handouts and tell me which one you don't know and write it down, which ones you would like to try, because it's all about trying new foods and making them a nutritious meal with new choices. Maybe it's the hearts of palm. Maybe are the radishes, the red, the beets, the radishes, the radicchios, the red peppers, the tomatoes that you haven't eaten for a while, or the zucchini, or even the coleslaw. Sometimes I forget about eating the coleslaw, but just write down those that you would like to eat again. And now we're going to go to the next one. So now we're going to talk about the starchy veggies. The starchy veggies, we have them on page 3. And we have starchy veggies, one carbohydrate choice is equal to half a cup. So half a cup of corn, that will be 1 carbohydrate choice. A third of a cup of baked beans. So the kidney beans, the black beans, any of the beans. Half a cup of lentils, peas or beans. So those will be equal to 1. Whereas this non-starchy, they didn't have any carbohydrate choices. So this is where we have to start counting this. So when it comes to the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, the yams, the regular potatoes, half a cup of a potato, And we may pass around. Ashley will pass around half a cup of a potato. That will be one carbohydrate choice. All right. Okay. And then we have also the cereals. The oatmeal that we talked about a little bit. The quinoa, for instance. I saw that you guys have a lot of bowls offered in the menus. So quinoa will be considered as part of the carbohydrate group. Yes, and these are the ones that we have to start looking into because they are, this amount will have will be equal to one carbohydrate choice. And we were always talking about having 3 to 4 carbohydrate choices per meal. Okay, so, all right. Yes. So the take-home message is, what I would like for you is, and that is on page 8. So you see the plate again? I would like for you to start thinking about getting your half of a plate with the non-starches, with any of those colors, examples that I provided. This is on page 8. I would like to encourage to try a new veggie or 3 veggies, a new veggie per week, I would say. But at least listing 3, that's a good plan. All right. And now, I would like to start talking about the other parts because so far we talked about the pasta last time, right? That a third of a cup of rice will be 1 carbohydrate choice. Same with pasta. A third of a cup of already cooked pasta is 1 carbohydrate choice. And if I eat 1 cup, the size of a cup, which is like this, it's already providing me 3 carbohydrate choices of pasta or rice. So now, we're going to talk about the fruit and the dairy. So depending on the fruits, there are some fruits that are high in water, like the watermelon, and low in carbohydrates. And this is where I also would like for you to refer. There is a one handout that you have written in the surveys that you would like to have more specific information. So here you are. You have here a one handout, and we're going to see that it's going to be foods with more carbohydrates, and it says these foods and serving sizes are equivalent to 1 carbohydrate choice, or 15 grams of carbohydrates. So then you can see listed the fruits. So it's a handout that it's all by itself. It's a blue handout. There you go. So you're going to see the fresh fruit, the apple. It starts with a small apple. That will be 1 carbohydrate choice. The applesauce, half a cup, and so forth. And you're going to see that the watermelon, the very last one, 1 1/4 of a cup of watermelon will be equal to 1 serving. So yes, you are going to see that there is a variation in the amount or in the content of carbohydrates among the different fruits. So this is a wonderful list of fruits that you can have. Now, why are we always recommending, of course, fresh fruits compared to the canned? Because the fresh fruit will have all the fiber, all the juices right there, all the vitamins right there, whereas the canned might be lost with the heat, with the cooking, and also some of them, they have added sugar. So this is why definitely we are recommending the fresh fruits. Okay, so we're not going to talk about this, but I would like to refer to you to the different colors of varieties of fruits that we have. And I would like to mention about the dairy, the milk, the yogurt, that a cup of milk is equal to 1 carbohydrate choice. 8 ounces. 8 ounces, 1 carbohydrate choice. Same for the yogurt. Alright. So, and when it comes to added sugars, those are, this is where, excuse me, I didn't refer you to the session 3, sorry about that. So you're going to see that there is a big list. No, not this one, but that's okay. But anyways, so we are recommending always to get a limit of added sugar, 50 grams of added sugars. That is equal to 12 teaspoons of sugars. Yes, sir.
About 2%.
Yes, 2% is better than whole milk. If you can go down to 1%, even better, because you don't want to have the saturated fatty acids. Those are the ones that are going to clog your arteries. So 2% are okay, but it's better than whole milk, but if you can go to 1%, even better.
How much 2% milk
How much?
How much 2% milk on cereal?
Okay, good. So when it comes to carbohydrates, remember that 1 cup, 8 ounces of any milk, that is equal to 1 carbohydrate choice. So you may pour only half a cup. This is what I do. I pour only half a cup in the milk. You pour the whole. Okay, that's okay because you need the calcium in it. All right, and I promise we are about to finish with the information. So milk, this is where the milk, again, we want to have low fat. That's better than whole milk. And that we want to avoid as much as possible the added sugar, any honey, any agaves, those are added sugars. Of course, the white sugar. So, we're going to go shopping to different restaurants here. All right. And we're going to go to the bistro, and we're going to find out each of those meals if they are good choices. Are you up for the task? Awesome. Okay, let's get started with build your own, and that is going to be your salad, right? Okay, it says, and here's the thing. You can see that on the left, I put my healthy plate, where you can see that half of a plate we're covering with non-starchy veggies, where the volume of the carbohydrates is a fourth of a plate with bread, right, or toast, and then a fourth of a plate with the protein. So with that, if we keep that in mind, we will be able then to relate if those choices are good choices or not. And also, I wanted to make sure that I want to share with you this beautiful nutritious meal with lots of colors, because the more colorful our plates look, the more vitamins and minerals we will have. So keeping that in mind. So build your own salad with iceberg lettuce, spinach or romaine, tomatoes, cucumber, onions, peppers, olives, eggs. That will be part of the protein part, right? Croutons, that's the carbs, cheese. And then you can add grilled chicken, salmon, or shrimp. So what do you think? Is a go or is a no? It's a go, definitely. It's even more veggies than anything else. Okay, fall quinoa salad. The kale and quinoa base with roasted yams, that's carbs, right? And we know that half of a cup of yams or potatoes will be equal to 1 carbohydrate choice. Pecans, that's protein and good fats. Chickpeas, that's carbs, like any beans. Chickpeas is like any beans, so it has carbs. And you know that a third of a cup is going to be equal to 1 carbohydrate choice. So this is where you're going to visualize this amount only of chickpeas. That will be 1 carbohydrate choice. ¿Qué más? Dried cranberries. Here is, we have to be careful with the the raisins, the cranberries. 2 tablespoons of any of those dried fruits, that's equal to 1 carbohydrate choice. Then we have the apple and the goat cheese, that's wonderful, with maple cider vinaigrette. Most of the time we put vinegar about 2 tablespoons. So some of the time, if we buy the vinaigrette, we can read the labels. But if we cannot, most of the time 2 tablespoons is okay. You will be fine, no carbohydrates. So what do you think? It's a go or a no? It's a go, absolutely. How about the harvest apple? So I think that it's going to be pretty much the same. So now between the bread, let's go down to that one. I don't want to, I have time until 7, right? Before questions, okay. So the Dogwood dog. It says beef, hot dog, choice of chili, diced onions, cheese, sauerkraut. What do you think? It's a no, exactly, right? Turkey apple, Andre. House, brain, turkey breast, white American cheddar cheese, sliced apple, spinach, and strawberry jam on toasted 9-grain bread. Yeah, maybe if you eat half, right? Because you need to have your veggies. And the Philly cheesesteak. The rabbi, grilled onion and American cheese on a hoggle roll. Yes, but again, you need to have you need to have your salad next, right? Okay, and build your own pizza, definitely. We know already this amount, this is a 12 ounces, 12 inches. Already the fourth of a pizza, only this amount, it's already 2 carbohydrate choices. Yes, Tom?
What about with the cauliflower crust?
Yes, excuse me?
What about with the cauliflower crust?
Oh, those are awesome. Yeah. So let's see. Do we have anything like that?
Yes, so in order, you can order
Yes. Cauliflower crust available. Definitely. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, next one. So sandwiches. Same thing. The sandwiches are going to be all very dense, calorie dense. We need to pair them up next to the salad. That's easy. So I'm going to go to the L'Oreal. So bacon starters, bacon wrapped dates, same thing. Dates, figs are very, very high in carbohydrates. So we have to be careful, especially those that are living with diabetes. Careful with those. So the bacon wrapped dates, they look yummy. Dates stuffed with goat cheese and drizzled with bourbon honey glaze. That's wonderful. Calories 440. Maybe if you split it with somebody, right? Or with 2 people. Okay, Parmesan tomatoes. The tomatoes topped with garlic Parmesan cheeses, oven baked, crusted with parsley, basil, and oregano. Wonderful. That's a go, definitely. The pulled pork sliders, house-made pulled pork topped with Asian slaw and sweet chili aioli. Okay, the Asian slaw, it's all veggies, all those non-starchy veggies, so that's a go. And the sweet chili aioli, whenever, because I was looking at that, I checked in my Google, What was that? So you may go use your smartphones and write the name of the item and put nutrition facts, and it will give you the information. And that's going to, they will give you the information for 2 tablespoons or an eighth of a cup. That is the serving for a dressing. Winter vegetable salad. Of course, it's going to be all good. Don't you agree? I don't have to go through that. So Laurel has a good salad, and the Chinese mandarin with all those veggies. I think that it's a go-to. All right, let's go to the main street. We have a 6-ounce filet. Definitely, we have a filet mignon with mashed potatoes. Now we know half a cup is 1. So if we have this amount, we're going to have 2. Can we have 2 carbohydrate choices? Of course. A garlic asparagus and a red wine demi-glace. But sometimes we have to be careful with the rolls, right, that we have along with it. So the 10 ounces ribeye, grilled and topped with the chimichurri sauce. That's awesome, the olive oil and basil and garlic. That's wonderful, served with Yukon smashed potatoes and baby carrots. Baby carrots, can we have? Yes, yes, that's non-starchy. Dolma chicken, hand-breaded white chicken chunks mixed with house-made orange sauce, served with an Asian medley of red peppers, onions, carrots, cornlets, that's corn, snow peas, and mushrooms with choice of white or brown rice. What do you think?
Very sweet.
Very sweet. Yeah, and we have to be careful here. Sometimes the brown rice, that will be good, but again, we have to remember, a third, that's 1 carbohydrate choice. So how much of the brown rice we're going to eat? And it has already carbohydrates in the breaded. See, so there is carbohydrates in the breaded chicken and in the rice. So those are things that we have to think about. And the corn. So sometimes maybe if we split with somebody, right? Okay, so rabbit ragu, ground beef, simmered in tomato red wine sauce with cannelloni beans. Again, the cannelloni beans, remember, a third of a cup. That's 1 carbohydrate choice. Carrots, onions, and chipotle sauce served over pappardelle pasta with a shaped grana padano. That's cheese. I was looking because, boy, those are good ingredients. Yeah, good choices. I want to come here and live here. So what do you think about the rabbit ragu? Is a go choice or no? We have to be careful with the pasta and the cannelloni beans, right? Okay, stuffed butternut squash. Okay, oven-baked butternut squash, and start with a 5-grain pilaf. We have the rice, spinach, dried cranberries. We have to be careful with the dried cranberries. And goat cheese is yummy with lemon, thyme, vinaigrette drizzle. So the butternut squash, it's a go. Yeah, it's a go. So that means that it's going to be, the carbohydrate choices is going to be only around the pilaf. And also, when we eat more than a cup, this is why I like this. Starchy veggies. So when we eat, for instance, foods with more carbohydrates, on the very bottom, it says starchy vegetables, fruit, peas, and winter squashes. So the sweet potato on the bottom, of course, is half a cup, will be 1 carbohydrate. The taro, a third of a cup. And the winter squash, 1 cup. 1 cup of the winter squash, that will be equal to 1 carbohydrate choice. That will be, the winter squash will be the acorn or the butternut. Okay, so this is why this is very specific, if you want to be specific. All right, okay, the stuffed butternut, we said that. So if we have half a cup of the butternut squash, that means it's good. But if we have 1 cup, that means that will count for 1 carbohydrate choice. Then the grilled salmon, grilled Atlantic salmon over a sweet corn puree with sauteed green beans and olive oil drizzle. What do you think? It's a go? Yeah. And the rabbit red trout, it's an oven-baked red trout stuffed with crab meat. This is all protein with a lemon butter sauce, served with a tricolor quinoa with macadamia nut, dried cranberries, and the grilled asparagus. So the carbohydrate choices will be with the quinoa and the dried cranberries, right? So maybe you might have 2 choices there. You might be eating 2 choices there. Okay, so then we have here some burgers. Well, burgers, you know, it's all carbs and meat and no veggies. So once in a while, this is what I tell the kids, once in a while. Maybe for 4th of July, right? That's it. And of course, you can make them, you know, a little bit less bad with adding some veggies. I stuff them with onions and tomatoes, and my husband says, what? But yeah, well, I do the Argentinian way. You do the American, I do the Argentinian. So yes, you can add a lot of veggies. So, yes. So these are the menus that I had here. So one of the things, so you can see that there are good choices, and there are some choices, some menus, some items that we just have to think a little bit about, and then, but I think you have good choices here. Do you agree with that? Yeah. All right. And there is nothing bad if you go to the restaurant tomorrow and bring this with you. Who cares? And if you take your placemat with you, who cares? What it is important is that you make your good choices for your health. Alrighty. So another item that I wanted to touch base, because one of the gentlemen last time said, "But hey, you didn't mention anything about exercise for diabetes." It's very important. We are not going to talk about exercise because you had Dr. Coyle coming, right? Like 4 or 5 weeks ago, that he talked about the impact of being sedentary and inactive that was impairing your health. So I'm not going to talk about that. But yes, definitely mention that the more you move, the better for your health and to decrease the risk to develop type 2 diabetes. And what we recommend definitely is to log. You can log with your physical activity, and you can have in your you can measure your steps that you make, or going to the gym. I know that you guys have like 2 or 3 gyms, so that is fantastic, because this is what you need to do. You need to do cardio, and you need to build your strength. And building your strength means using stretching bands, using some lightweight. That is very important for you to still be independent and build your muscles. So that's something that I don't want it to be missed out. And the cardio is easier for us to go and walk. And if we do the cardio 30 minutes a day, And if we do the building your strengths at least 2 times a week for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, that will help a great deal. And this is in your handout, number session 3. So you can log. This is why I want to show you. You can log the physical activity as well. And sometimes that keeps us accountable. And we are about to finish. Another good way also is if I walk for 20 minutes, that's equal to 1 mile. And that is equal to 2,000 steps. So that's a good way also to measure how much you move. Okay. So I want for you to think about, and we are about to finish, what are 1 or 2 things that you have learned today? And write it down in your, now this is going to be the call for action handout that I provided you.
And Sonia, I know we have a lot of questions for you, so
Okay.
are you ready to answer questions?
Yes, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you do work this at home. But it is very important, if you are serious about making changes, this is the way to be aware, to identify what you want to work on, what is the aspect of the change that you want to work on, and then log. So the take-home messages are purpose of the carbohydrate. Remember always to think about the function of the carbohydrates, that the non-starchy veggies will help reduce the amount of total carbs. Trying new veggies and fruits, that will help you to increase vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. Reading labels will help you to understand the carbohydrate intake and the carbohydrate choices. And the nutrient dense, natural sugars versus the refined or calorie dense foods, that we always recommend natural. And continue to make your healthy plate a part of your healthy eating pattern. And a friend of ours said, I love that, think before you eat. Once you made a decision, enjoy. Okay, so questions? Yes, sir. Do you want?
Is there a difference between microphone?
Yes.
Is there a difference between iceberg, romaine, and other kinds of lettuce?
Yes, the brighter, the more dark lettuce, the greens, the more vitamins and minerals you wanna get vitamin A, vitamin C in the very dark veggie, in that very dark lettuce compared to the romaine. Good question.
Other questions? Did you get them all answered? Well, I must say that Sonia gave us a tremendous amount of handouts for us to go back and study on. Especially, I like the blue and white one that has tiny little print, and I'll probably have to use a magnifier. But it's got the information as to the good vegetables to choose and those that we should stay away from, because I don't think anyone inherently knows that information. So the handouts are very, very helpful, and I know she would appreciate you filling out your surveys and get your grand prizes on the way out when you turn in your survey. And thank you so much for all the handouts and the information and the guidance, and we can make better choices. So thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. And I apologize last time that I went over time and we didn't get to finish and we had to rush. That was my fault. So I am glad that today we just finished in peace and we covered all the material. So I appreciate your patience with me and understanding. Thank you.